I hope that started our lesson off today with some laughs, guys. Kaylin has loves to play with Snapchat filters, and I saw that one the other day, and I thought, oh my gosh, I have to put that in our video. So I hope you liked that. I like to try to think of different things to put in here just to make it a little more exciting. So here we go with Friday's reading lesson. Our goals for today: say I can read the sight words want, could, and day, and I can write 2 sentences that tell about my picture. So, sight words for this week. We learned the word want. W-A-N-T, want. Our other sight word this week was could. C-O-U-L-D, could. And the last sight word was day. D-A-Y. All right, boys and girls, I know you were working hard to learn all of those sight words. So, yay, you made it to Friday, and I hope now when you are reading, you can recognize those words. So, just a little practice today, some ideas. These are the last 3 sight words that we will learn this year, and I'm going to give you some suggestions for some fun activities you can try today to practice these sight words. However, these activities would be great to continue to do as we review our sight words over the next few weeks until the end of the school year. So these are great ideas to just pick out a couple of your yellow flashcards and practice doing one of these maybe a couple times a week. Just an idea. So for today, this is not something you have to show me. This is just something that you can try, and it's good practice for sight words. You could write your words with rainbow letters, build your words with Play-Doh, write your words with sidewalk chalk. Each one of you got sidewalk chalk in the last bag that you picked up. And so that was what the sidewalk chalk was meant for. It's for you to go outside on a nice day and practice writing sight words, or maybe write a sentence or draw a picture and write some words that you could use to label the picture. So sidewalk chalk is a great idea. Use small items around the house like toothpicks or cereal to spell words. Or if you have paint at home, you could paint the words. So maybe try one of these things to practice our sight words want, could, and day today. Or like I said, ongoing as we review. These are all fun things that we could do to review. So today is Friday, and on Fridays we just get to read a story for fun. So the story that I picked today is about a giant, and he is hungry and he is looking for some food. So let's hear the story. Oops, I'm sorry, technical difficulties. Here we go.
The Giant of Jum by Ellie Woolard. The Giant of Jum was a grumpy old grouch who was constantly grizzling and grumbling. And when he was hungry, he'd slobber and slouch and say, "Oh, how my tummy is rumbling!" "Fee," he'd say, and "Fie," he'd say, and "Foh," he'd say, and "Fum." "How I pine, how I wish for a child on a dish! Little children are yummy, yum, yum." And he thought of a tale that his brother had told of a beanstalk and a boy known as Jack. He'd be nice, thought the giant, if eaten quite cold, with a side dish of beans for a snack. He strode through the land with such thunderous stomps that the trees started shaking and swaying. Through fields and forests, through rivers and swamps, into gardens where children were playing. "Fum," he'd say, and "Foh," he'd say, and "Fie," he'd say, and "Fee. Children, I feel, make a fabulous meal. I will gobble you up with my tea." But the children said, "What a magnificent man! You're so marvelously magic and tall." And they said, "Will you help us? We're sure that you can. Oh, please, will you fetch us our ball?" What do you think he's going to say, boys and girls? Is he going to help them, or is he going to eat them? The giant said, "Well, I suppose it won't hurt, but soon, have no fear, I'll be back. You'd be scrumptious if eaten with cream for dessert, just as soon as I've gobbled that jack." "Fo," he'd say, and fum, he'd say, and fee, he'd say, and fi. Children taste nice mixed with pasta or rice, and they're perfect when popped in a pie. But the children ran up and they yelled, "Look at that! Up there in the leaves! Can you see? Oh, please, will you help us and rescue our cat? It's stuck up in that sycamore tree." Oh, well, he helped him once. Do you think he's going to help him again? The giant said, "Well, I suppose it won't hurt, but soon, have no fear, I'll be back. You'd be scrumptious if eaten with cream for dessert, just as soon as I've gobbled that jack." "Fi," he'd say, and fee, he'd say, and fum, he'd say, and fo. My very best treat is some children to eat. I will start at the littlest toe. But the smallest boy whispered, "My legs are so sore," as he slumped to the ground and he cried, "I can't make it home. I can't walk any more. Oh, please, could you give me a ride?" The giant said, "Well, I suppose I don't mind," and he lifted the boy to his back. The boy said, "I love you. You're wonderfully kind. And what is your name?" "I'm called Jack." Uh-oh, boys and girls, who was the giant looking for this whole time? He was looking for Jack. Oh no, what do you think's going to happen next? "Fee," he said, and fi, he said. "Little Jack Snack, is that right? I'll pulp you and stew you. I'll gulp you and chew you. I'll gobble you up in one bite." But the children said, "Oh no, you wouldn't. We think that you've made a mistake. You're such a kind giant, you couldn't. Nice giants always eat cake." Look at that big, large cake there. The giant was starving. His tummy was rumbling, but then he said, "Wait, are you sure? I'm grizzly and grumpy and grouchy and grumbly. I've not been called kindly before." "You rescued a cat from a tree," shouted Jack, "and you fetched us our ball. You're so nice. You gave me a ride through the streets on your back, so we've made this for you. Have a slice." "Ho," he said, and hum, he said, and ha, he said, and he. "Chocolate's much better than children." And he ate it all up with his tea. So look at the giant's face here. How do you think he feels right now? Well, I see a big smile on his face, and I see the little girl hugging him, and he's enjoying his cake. So I would think that he is feeling probably pretty happy right now. I love this little kid down here eating with the donkey and the pig, eating the big old piece of cake. All right, boys and girls, that was our story for Friday, The Giant of Jum. I hope you enjoyed the story. Now let's move on to our writing lesson for today.
Okay, so for writing today, you will have this worksheet in the back of your packet. I explained that in the video. We'll watch the video here in just a second. This is your assignment for today, though. So once this is complete and you have 2 sentences written, please have mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, whoever it may be, take a picture and send it to me on Parent Square or email. So before we get started, I have these bubbles here for you just to remind you of important things to remember when you are writing your sentence. It says, I can use a capital letter, I can use spaces, and I can use punctuation. And that might be a period, might be an exclamation point, or maybe even a question mark. So let's watch the video and get started with our writing lesson.
So your writing assignment today is in your packet. It should be the very last page, and it should look something like this. Yours will most likely not have the same picture or words as mine, but it should be a paper with a picture. It's got labels on it, and then the lines for writing. So what this is meant to help us do is use some words to create sentences that go along with our picture. So in my picture here, we have a label for sunflowers, the farmer, tractor, horse, and barn. So those are some words. If I was looking at this picture and I had to write something about what I see in the picture, those are some words that I would probably want to use. So this paper is going to be helpful because it gives us some ideas to go on with the words, and it also helps us spell those words. So what I want from you today is to use some of these words along with sight words to create 2 sentences telling me something about the picture. So as we write the sentences, we need to make sure we remember the 3 very important things that we need when we write our sentence. You can see them listed on the side of the video right now. Don't forget your capital letter, and the capital letter should only have one capital letter, and it should be at the beginning of your sentence. As you write your sentence, you want to make sure you're using spaces. You can use your finger to help you make spaces, or if you can leave the spaces without using your finger, that's fine too. And the very last thing that we need to remember at the very end of our sentence is our punctuation. So maybe today it's a period, or even maybe an exclamation point. I don't know. It depends what you come up with as you write. So I'm going to write one sentence using some of these words for you today, so you can just kind of get an idea of how to use these words. So obviously I cannot use all of the words in one sentence. So for my sentence, I'm going to write about the farmer and the tractor. And if I think about what I know about a farmer and a tractor, well, how does he use the tractor? He rides it, right? He rides or he drives. He uses it to get from place to place. So my sentence today is going to be the farmer rides the tractor. So the first word in my sentence was the. And I know since the is the first word and T is the first letter in that it needs to be a capital letter. So the, I'm going to use my finger for the space, farmer. Now farmer is in the box up here, so I should be able to spell that correctly. Farmer. Another space because I'm going to write my next word. The farmer, I'm going to write drives. Drives. So I'm listening to all the sounds in that word as I say it slowly. Drives. The farmer drives. Okay, so now I'm at the end here. You can see I need to write, my next word that I need to write is the word the. The farmer drives the. Do I have enough room to write the word the here after my finger space? I don't. So I'm just going to come back down to this next line, and I'm going to continue to write the farmer drives the. And notice here, guys, even though I started a new line, this is still the same sentence. So I am not going to use a capital letter here. The only time I do that is at the beginning. Okay, the farmer drives the and then tractor. And again, tractor is one of the words in the boxes up here, so I want to spell it correctly. There's my finger space. T-R-A-C-T-O-R. All right, the farmer drives the tractor. And what do I need to do at the end of my sentence? I need to put my period. All right. So now, if I was going to continue with the assignment, then I would write one more sentence using, you could even use the same words, you could use 2 different words, it's totally up to you. But I would like for you to try to write 2 sentences using a capital letter, spaces, and a period. 2 sentences to describe things that you see in your picture. All right, boys and girls, thank you for listening. Can't wait to see your work.
Okay, so that is your writing assignment for today. Like I said, have mom or dad or whoever it may be at home with you take a picture of your completed work and have them send it to me. I can't wait to see. And as you're working through your sentences, make sure you use capital letter, spaces, and punctuation. All right, my friends. Well, you have some work to do, and it'll be great. I hope you have a great Friday, and I will talk to you guys on Monday.